I have only played this most definite edition of Mafia. I did not play the original indefinitive version of the game that released in 2002 because old games are trash. This is a pretty quick game. I beat it in 9.5 hours. I changed the difficulty like every 5 minutes, so I can't really give you a good metric for how hard it was. Now, this is a remaster of Mafia, the Lost City of Haven, the supposed classic of the genre. And I have to ask Hangar 13, what is the point of remastering a game when it still looks 10 years old? Anybody who is impressed with these PS4 graphics of the PS4 edition of the game on PS4, the one I played it on, and the one I'm reviewing, and the one you'll be seeing footage of, is one of three things. A, stupid, B, a liar, or 3, blind. This game looks like crap. Just the fact that there's a huge improvement over the original version of the game does not excuse the fact that this is still woefully under 2020 standards. We've had some damn incredible looking games this year. The game runs pretty badly too. There's a lot of frame drop, especially when you're driving around the city, and there is constant screen tearing, especially in the cutscenes for some reason. They made the really poor decision of animating eyelashes on everybody. Like, I mean, when your character models are like picturesque perfect, then you can worry about eyelashes, but when they're like as undetailed and outdated looking as they are, putting an eyelash just makes you look like that doll from Toy Story.
You want to drive a politician into Morella's arms? There's no better way than killing off his family.
Christ.
It gets worse. You left another guy in the wreck?
Yeah, but he was dead when we got there. You gonna tell me he was the president's nephew or something?
2 in the head, Paulie.
The animations are really stiff and really awkward. The character models look really bad. And it doesn't control any better. It's again like, what's the point of remastering a game if you're not going to update it and modernize it at all? And you can't say they were just trying to be true and faithful to the game, and that's why they left the controls as outdated as they are, because they weren't true and faithful to the game. They re-recorded and recast some of the characters. This was not like a visual repolishing like an HD port. This is a ground-up remaster, which leaves them zero excuse for why the controls are so bad. It's a third-person shooter, has a very basic cover system. You press X to get into cover, and then you press triangle to vault over cover and or orbit around it or swap. So that's about all you can do. It's pretty basic. It's fine. It works. It's a little restrictive and very outdated at this point. I would rather just be able to move while aiming, while crouching, and then kind of peek around the corners myself, but I'm not going to write home about that. But every time you aim your weapon, the game skips frames from your standing position to your aiming down sights position. There is a noticeable jump right there. The reticles are way too damn big. You have to deliberately waste ammo to just hit them eventually, or you have to get really, really close to everybody. There's these really awkward bullet tracer lines. Every time you fire a shot, you see like a smoke trail behind the bullet. That looks terrible. The gunshot sounds, too, are very quiet and wimpy. They're often overpowered by the dialogue or even the sounds of your boots on the street. It's very, very odd. These guns are not satisfying to shoot.
What the hell? Morello! Bastard could have at least let me finish my wine.
You're in danger. You have permission to shoot. All cars, all officers, please converge. Help needed. Together!
And they always give you such limited ammo, and all of this makes for an extremely not fun shooting experience. Half of the point in being in the mobster mafia era of this awesome setting is to just walk around with a trench coat and a fedora and a Tommy gun and just waste people, and the game doesn't allow you to do that. Tommy guns are awesome. Let them be awesome. Stop restricting them. Your choice of firearms is really bad too. There's 3 different revolvers, but there's only one fully automatic weapon, and that's the Tommy gun. There's no different variants of Thompson. There's no BAR. There were a lot of automatic weapons available at the time. Haven't you seen Public Enemies? That's what I wanted in this game. I wanted to reenact all of the gunfights from Public Enemies. The movie's awesome. And of the 3 revolvers, a game does a terrible job at telling you what the difference is between them. It doesn't show you the caliber, it just says service revolver or pocket revolver, and like, which one's higher caliber? Does one of them shoot better? I don't know. I can't tell because the graphics are so terrible, they all look the same. You know, the period accurateness of the game is part of the fun of it. This is a really cool setting. This is a fantastic setting. But the cars are a little too period accurate. Like, I get it. If you're going too fast and you try to turn, you should skid and you should lose a little control. But to this degree, if you're going faster than like 15 miles per hour, you cannot turn. You cannot turn. It is that simple. The controller's vibrating and the car's going and you're sliding out of control. You have to basically come to a full stop to make turns in this game. It's ridiculous. Congratulations, you've successfully recreated how awful of an experience it is to drive a car in 1920 and sucked all the fun out of any of the driving in this game. And it's when you're spending all this time driving around in the open world that you're wondering, why is this game an open world game? I had the exact same problem with Mafia 3. There is no reason for this game to be an open world game. This is not a sprawling crime epic. This is a pretty concise, bite-sized, narrative-driven, narrative-focused game. There are no shops. There are no side quests. There is no currency system, upgrade system, or unlock system. There is no incentive to explore this world. The open world serves as a figurative vehicle to get you from one mission to the next. It serves as a platform within which to have car chases and run from the cops and the other mobsters. The game allows you to change the exterior and interior color of some, but not all, of the cars, but you can only change your clothes in the free ride mode, which is the free ride's like the playground exploration non-story mode. This game shouldn't need a free ride mode. All of those aspects should just be built into the main game. You should be able to change your clothes when you're walking around. You know, you have cool pinstripe suits and all these, you know, different fedoras and different colored ties and trench coats. There are only 2 radio stations, which is nice. You have your one for your classic-y, old-timey jazz music. And then you have your one for your Great Depression era news.
He said, there can be no dispute that times are hard for many. Jobs are fewer and farther between. But that simply is no reason to bite one's thumb at the rule of law. It'd
be like talking about the crime you just committed, and they were like, there was a bank robbery on 5th and Cicero. The perpetrators remain at large. You know, they're talking about Prohibition and the Great Depression and everything FDR did to lengthen it with his terrible garbage-ass policy. It's fun. Everybody's got either thick Italian or Irish accents, and they're all racist, and they say the yellow fevers.
The only tip I'll give you is to stop smoking in your vehicle. I felt like I was sitting in an ashtray.
Sure. Whatever you say.
These Italians are all the same.
So it's fun to be a mobster, even though if they did not pull it off nearly as well as they could have. But for the supposed, you know, sprawling, timeless classic of Mafia, is like, the story's not that good. Like, it's fine. It's decent. It's okay. Some of the acting's pretty bad, too. Particularly Don Salieri and Pauly are standouts as, like, ugh, every time they're on the screen.
Christ, Tom. You can't feel sorry for these animals. A guy like this would plug you if you give him the chance. You gotta pull the trigger without thinking. Guess I'm out. This one's finished too.
The game starts with Tommy, the gangster, and a cop. He's basically snitching on everybody right at the start of the game. So he's literally explaining the entirety of the game to this guy at a table, which is a terrible thing to do for a story. It sucks all tension out of it. And Tommy's wondering, like, where did it all go wrong? And I'm like, I could wager a guess. Maybe it's when you joined the mob. The cop is just sitting there listening to him the whole time. He's like, I sympathize with you, Tommy. I really do. But I got me own family to look after. The moral of the story boils down to crime bad. A lot of the characters make weird decisions out of nowhere. People betray each other for no reason, even when they seemed perfectly happy making shit tons of money. It's not a bad story, but is it good enough to be worth sitting through all the other poor, outdated garbage? No. I was hoping for a Ghost of Tsushima level open world game to run around and explore. I still have not seen a really great Roaring 20s, Great Depression era video game. There's a bank robbery mission that's pretty fun, and it shows all this wasted potential. And I'll tell you what, I would really like Grand Theft Auto 6 to take place in the Roaring 20s. It's a very fun setting in a very cool time period, and I haven't seen a really good game that makes any use of it yet. The Definitive Edition is discounted. It's $40 if you buy it separately from the whole Definitive Edition trilogy, but like, I do not think there's $40 worth of content here. I do not feel like I got my values worth. This game is aged horribly. It's very dated. I don't think a single aspect of it holds up.
Work.